ever done. I mixed up all this fake puke at home, and then I went to this movie theater, hid the puke in my jacket, climbed up to the balcony, and then I made a noise like this. And then I dumped it over the side. And all the people in the audience, then this was horrible. All the people started getting sick and throwing up all over each other. I never felt so bad in my entire life.
Everybody, it's Tyler and Lance Richards with Past Due Movie Reviews, and we're glad to be back with you. This is our Goonies episode. We're not going to pull any punches. We're going to just get straight into the Goonies because we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things. I try to get some fan stuff rolling out there in Facebook, and I hope that we have a good talk here. You can see my dog Lucy in the background. But anyway, we're here to talk the Goonies, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. And I'm looking forward to talking about this. Lance, you remember when we first saw this movie?
I don't know when we first saw it. I'm pretty sure you saw it before I did. Growing up. And I don't know where you would have seen it, but I remember you talking about it. And somehow we ended up getting on VHS. And I can't remember if you bought it or I bought it, but that was our first copy of the movie. I do have a Blu-ray copy, and I've got it on my Fandango account because so that way I've got a few different platforms just in case I need to get some Goonies in my life.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at it today, and because there's a scene that was cut, and I tell people all the time I saw this scene but it sounded like the Disney Channel and a few other cable channels had included the octopus scene. So I know we're kind of jumping ahead, but just so everybody knows, I wasn't crazy. I looked it up on the internet, and the internet doesn't lie. So
the internet. And you believed it?
Yeah, they can't put anything on the internet that isn't true.
Where'd you hear that? The internet.
But the octopus scene, I knew I saw it. It was there. They should have never cut it. But that's my own opinion. But anyway, I remember watching it. I think it was probably on the Disney Channel, probably at our grandparents' house. And I just remember watching it and being blown away. And then each time I watch it, I'm never disappointed. I never look back and go, I wish I wouldn't have watched this movie. I love this movie. Lots of people love it. And I don't remember, what did you say one of your favorite memories was?
Well, yeah, when I think of the Goonies, I think of a coming of age kind of movie. It's got kids that are probably in middle school, and then you've got some of the high school kids like Josh Brolin's character. And so after I saw this movie, I fell in love with it. And like everybody in my high school, like we were all around the same age. This movie came out in 1985, and that's the year I was born.
Yeah.
And so maybe there's something about that 15-year gap where it was like the cool movie where it's like, oh, we're going to watch the Goonies or something like that. You have like a Goonies party. And so I got a shirt. I think I had to get it from something like Spencer's, or no, it was Hot Topics for all you goth kids out there.
Yep.
Yeah. That brings up really embarrassing memories. I don't want to think about it, other than the fact that I got a Sloth t-shirt. It was, just a navy blue shirt, and it had Sloth, and on there was he was wearing his Superman thing, doing the big pose.
Yep.
So that's a shirt that I could wear, and people would be like, oh, you're cool. And I was like, yeah, I'm cool. It's also the first movie I saw with a girlfriend, like official, right? I had a double date with another friend, and I remember holding her hand. I was like, oh my gosh, so Goonies has a lot of nostalgia for me, for sure, especially with those like pre-teen, teen year, hormones. And then you're just like, yeah. And it's a cool movie. I mean, the movie, you can watch it over and over and over again and not get bored of it.
No, I was even thinking about the last scene just makes you wish that you had been on an adventure with the Goonies. And like every kid longed for that. Every kid longed for some sort of adventure. I remember we'd go and do silly things and in the barns where we grew up, and I was always hoping to find something interesting. We never did. It was some sort of garbage or something, but
raccoon poop.
Yeah, or like Oh, I remember we did this thing. This is kind of a memory that sparked because we were talking about the Goonies. But I think we were like the Weed Bros or something, or we were like
I
knocking
was
down.
just thinking about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And so that was an adventure.
I for those who know Iowa and like the types of, I don't know, like plants that grow, we would get these like 6-7 foot tall button plant weeds. I mean, they were just massive. They kind of, and then they have like these thick stalks. And I remember you and I, we would keep finding these sticks in the barns. I think they were supposed to be holding up these planks of wood. And then we'd use baseball bats too. We would just go there and just whack these weeds down.
Yeah.
You know, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, because we could make trails in there.
Yep. Eventually, that became a garden. I think that became a garden for pumpkins, and so we did something right.
Had some pumpkin patches. Me and my friends, I think maybe you might have helped contribute to it. I put in a paintball course. I mean, I had obstacles and holes everywhere in that yard. I even found like the frames of an old barn that used to be in there too. Like I had just dug this hole, and all of a sudden I was in between these two huge posts. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. There used to be something else here.
Yeah. I remember there was an old boat that was rotted. I think that we thought we could get it resurrected, but it was probably done for.
Yeah.
But when you're young,
that was our one-eyed Willie ship.
Well, the Goonies definitely brings about the nostalgia because it resonates with the idea of the adventure, like I said, and you all want to be Mikey. I think at some level, you just want to be Mikey, to have that opportunity, that drive, and Sean Astin really does a great job playing Mikey. And the movie is full of different characters and plot points and all these different things that make it fun. But to me, it's about the friendships and the relationships that end up making it, because you're doing it with your friends, and that's what you want to do when you're young. You want to do it with your friends. So that I think that's why people love the Goonies so much. It's just a bunch of ragtag misfits that do this amazing thing that they never thought they could do.
For sure. I mean, you see where they're growing up. It's on the coast of Oregon. And they're what they call the Goondocks is where they live, and it's just a blue collar neighborhood, of course. And there's these big money people that are coming in. They're going to put a golf course and a sand trap right where they have their house. And just you feel for these people because they're just kind of stuck and they're just waiting for the bad news to get kicked out. And Mikey, like you said, he's just got this energy. He wants to just keep the group together and go on this one final hurrah before everything's gonna fall apart. And the movie is kind of depressing, and it really doesn't get going until the half-hour mark. But that first 30 minutes in the movie, you really get to immerse yourself in their world, see where they're coming from. You get Data busting through the screen door, so you know he's kind of the inventor guy.
Oh, screen door! Mikey, the screen door!
You've got Corey Feldman playing Mouth, and you just see he's kind of the smart aleck type of kid.
No, I want the Villa Scalapini. I want a Fettuccine Alfredo. A bottle of Fettuccine in 1981.
And he wants to be the ringleader, but he's really not.
Yeah.
And you've got Chunk. I mean, Chunk is awesome. And he's just kind of like the blab, not the blab mouth, but just making up stories. And I don't know what his deal is.
You turd. Why don't you drive? Shut up, Mom. Listen, okay? You guys will never believe me. There's 2 cop cars, okay? And they're chasing 4-wheel deals. It's real neat ORV. And there are bullets flying all over the place. It's the most amazing thing I ever saw. Right? Okay, Brand. Michael Jackson didn't come over to my house. He was about to. But his sister did.
80s, he was a fat kid. Today he'd be kind of skinny. So
I've seen pictures of him. He's like a lawyer or something, the actor. He was hilarious. A side note, I don't know if you knew this, Lance. He had chicken pox while filming, and during the truffle shuffle scene, you can see, if you get in close, that little hot things of the chicken pox. So just a little tidbit there for you. So everybody knows Astoria is a real town. It's a totally real town. I think it's in Oregon, like you said. And there's a band called the Ataris, and they did a album that kind of based itself around some of the Goonies stuff, and it's called So Long Astoria. And you see this water tower coming down that has the town name on it. And the Ataris actually, Chris Rowe, I think is his name. He actually sings one of the lines. This was my wish, and I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back. He pays a lot of homage to that type of era, the nostalgia and the good times and all those things in that album. That's one of my favorite Ataris albums. It's a punk, pop punk band. So if anybody likes pop punk, dive into that one. It's a great album.
Well, there's another punk band that got their name from this movie too, but we can wait until we get to that part.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Let's see. So I told everybody that I wanted to get some quotes. So this is a new segment we're trying to do. We're trying to break things up into different segments, and it already just popped to something else. All right. So I asked everybody what some of their favorite quotes were to quote some things. Our cousin Jolie Jansen, she had the latest one, and it's Chunk to Sloth. You're gonna live with me now, and she said her boys love that whole exchange.
Sloth, you're gonna live with me now. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. Because I love you.
Oh, I love you, Chunk.
And the fact that he's like, hey, you're going to live with me, didn't talk to his parents. There's this grown man. Hey, you're going to live with me and I'm going to take care of you. Okay. And Sloth clearly has issues. And Matt, our friend Matt Kuhn, he says the callback to Gremlins, it actually mentions the process of what happens to the Gremlins. He said it was kind of like a cameo or just a nod. My friend Ryan Struger decided to put all the wrong quotes, so I won't mention any of the things. I just mentioned his name. Matt Kuhn also put Baby Ruth. Matt Kuhn put $50 bill. Annie Crawford, she put, hey, you guys. Our friend Mindy, I went to high school with Mindy Warndorf, said, Michael Jackson didn't come over to my house to use the bathroom, but his sister did. That's Chunk.
But his sister did.
Tyler Richards, that must be me. Andy, you Goonie. And if you remember,
Troy.
Andy's, yeah, by Troy. And Annie had said she wasn't a Goonie, but then Troy gives her the Goonie label. So there you go, Andy. Matt Kuhn, I can't tell if it's an A sharp or B flat. Slick Shoes. My friend Jim McKay put, hey, you guys, with a sloth thing in there. Let's see. I got some more to read. There's a bunch more. I got to read them because I said I would. I said I would, and I'm going to stick to my word. I won't read this one, but our friend, Sean Ox Brown, talks about when Chunk does the throw up thing. Sean Carlick. Andy says, be careful, there's a hole around here. I think Bran was standing in it. She makes out with Mike Keane, doesn't know it, and said he has braces, and she didn't know he had braces. He also talked about the B flat. Sarah Kuhn said booty trap. Owen Fuller, I got a great idea.
I said booty trap.
Booty trap. Owen Fuller says, I got a great idea. Slick shoes. Slick shoes.
Slick shoes. Are you crazy?
Dana, come on! No, Dana. I got a great idea, you guys! Slick shoes! Slick shoes? Are you crazy? Dana!
Good enough.
Angie Wadsworth said, this is our time, not their time, our time. That's more of a paraphrase, but that's actually a great, I want to talk about that moment with Sean Astin. Susan Ham put a bunch of them. Truffle Shuffle, $50 bill, Sloth Loves Chunk, Baby Ruth, hey, you guys. Wanda McConnell, this is a good one. Rocky Road. Daniel Hanshaw put, hey, you guys. And Ryan Struger put all the wrong things in there again. So, Ryan Struger, you are going to be officially banned from ever getting a mention if you say the wrong...
All the wrong things.
All the wrong things.
What are all these quotes that are...
He was quoting Sandlot, He's quoting Sandlot, Charlotte's Web, all these different dumb things.
He's just jealous he doesn't have a podcast.
Yeah.
We have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and fans, and he's just trying to make fun of our stuff.
Hundreds. But I wanted to talk about Sean Astin's moment, actually. If you guys know Sean Astin at all from watching any of his work, he hasn't the Goonies and Lord of the Rings. It's in the Two Towers. He has great monologues. And Sean Astin, for some reason, I don't think he gets the credit that he probably deserves. But he just takes the cake in this one. He's just giving them this monologue and saying, up there is their time. It's their time up there. Down here is our time. It's our time down here.
Because it's their time. Their time. Up there. Down here, it's our time. It's our time down here. That's all over the second we ride up Troy's bucket.
And he was just trying to inspire them to say, this is all we got. This is our last time together. We don't have another time. There's no other option. If we give up now, we'll never complete this thing. And Sean Astin just seems to get the cool stuff. So he's a great guy. If people don't know, he's actually the president of the Actors Guild. Yeah. But he's a fun guy. And we actually talked about his dad in Gremlins 2 when we talked about that. But he's just a great character in this movie. Actually, really good actor. Great acting actually for his role. It just probably gets overlooked a little bit because of all the funny moments.
Yeah, I mean, he moves the plot along. He's obviously the heart of the story. He's the one that's kind of he's not really dragging them all on this journey, but he's definitely getting them going, and and yeah, he's got all the inspiration behind him. Mm-hmm. He's got this wonder, I think, that that we all kind of cherish or want to have in our lives.
Yeah.
And it's Sean Astin. I think this is, I mean, I don't know how many roles he had before this. It couldn't have been obviously too many because he's a pretty young kid. I think he was 13 when he made this movie.
Oh, sure.
So I don't really know.
And I always thought, like, these kids are really young, but then I was like, they're probably not that young. Because when Andy kisses him, you're like, oh, is she kissing like a 10-year-old kid? No, he's probably 12 to 13, and she's probably 15, 16 years old. So it's not that big of a gap. And Bran, it's funny, Josh Brolin, he's tall in this movie, and then I don't feel like he ever plays a character like this again. I'm like, oh, he's just super serious from everything else I've seen him in. But if people recognize the character or the actor Data, he was in Indiana Jones, and he was actually in Finding Ohana. It was a nod to the Goonies. It was kind of a nod adventure movie. If you've seen it on Netflix, it's really good. I mean, it's a little campy at times, but it's a good. Yeah, it's a good family flick. It's excellent, I think. It's worth the watch. It's worth the watch. So, but
Goonies can be a little campy if you get into it.
Yeah, tell me about some of the campy stuff, Lance.
Oh my gosh. Well, you don't think it's going to be one of those movies? Oh, I don't know. I guess we're early on in the movie. You've got Mouth, and he's got Chunk down at the gate, and he's wanting him to do the truffle shuffle. And he's like, "Come on, do it!" And then he starts shaking his belly, and it's something that you told me about a while. When, he's like, if you notice or you listen, after he jumps off, you can still hear his stomach jiggling. So they do use some of those cheesy weird sound effects, but not too much. But when you do hear it, there's another one where they do the Looney Tunes sound when Data's falling through the hole and he throws out his pinches of power.
Yeah.
And they go and then there's a few other, I think a lot of them are Data related actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, just some of those kind of hokey sounds that you would get from a real cheesy movie.
I've noticed that too. And when the guy gets hit with the thing from Data, and he goes,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the other one. That one was kind of like, but all the other ones I felt like were pretty funny.
I think back in the 80s, of course, there was a lot of different things going on. And now, if you were to have a movie like that, obviously, you're like, well, that was low budget and it's made for straight to tell, whatever release, and things just don't happen like that unless it's completely on purpose. And yeah, so some of it doesn't match up very well.
So I was gonna say with Sloth's mask, the guy who's playing Sloth, it looks pretty good throughout the whole thing, and then right at the end, once they cut, like they're arresting him, his mask changes like 3 different times. Like, I don't know, they had to do a bunch of reshoots or something. Probably. And obviously from a distance, like it's not this guy's real face. Oh, no. But he looks real coned headed sometimes, and his bad eye looks really small, and all of a sudden you see like it's really big and gougy. So that was kind of a funny thing, to like all those transitions within like a 3-minute time frame.
Oh, that's true. I know they do certain things when it comes to different shots. If there's a close up, they're going to really make sure everything's looking good. If it's a little farther away, they can get away with the less. There's a movie like that called Legend, where Tim Curry is like the devil or something, and there's some shots where you're like, huh, that doesn't look like him in the background. Yeah, you're like, oh gosh. And like I've said before, high definition. When you start getting a high definition, it will reveal everything. And some of the acting, like the mother, I can't remember, Fratelli. It's not her best work. We've seen her in other things. I think she was in Throw Mama from the Train and all these other ones, but like in this one, I feel like she phoned it in. But there's some great other actors in this movie that you don't really know. I can't remember his name. He was the other Fratelli brother that wore the toupee, and he kind of got a star. He kind of got his career going a little bit later.
Oh, Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah.
He's got to play Francis.
Francis to pay. I don't wear a hairpiece. And you run past it, you
Well, Mama Fratelli, Anne Ramsey, she died 3 years after this movie came out. I did look up her Wikipedia. So in the movie, it sounds like she has got kind of not a lisp, but you could tell she's not talking correctly, but part of her lower jaw had to be taken out. She had esophageal cancer.
Yeah.
So if it came back, even though she had got some of that removed, and that's what got her. She was only like 59.
Oh, really?
So yeah, she looks a lot older.
She does. And I wasn't trying to speak ill, but maybe she wasn't feeling good at the time. Sometimes they don't put the right cut in there, but there's a highly controversial scene in this movie. I'll bring up the octopus again. They think people thought the puppet, when it was early tested for audiences, that it looked kind of crappy. But the thing is, they forgot to take out when Data said the octopus was really scary. That the continuity just flies out the window. So you're like, what in the world? What is he talking about? Octopus? I've never seen the octopus in this movie. Unless you had seen the television one, so then you would know. The octopus, I think, was kind of funny because it ends up like dancing and doing this thing to the music. Fix this tape player.
So was that Cyndi Lauper that was on the cassette tape?
I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't look.
Yeah, it sounded kind of like when it was underwater, but I maybe someone else knows that's a little older than us would have an idea what that song was.
That's true. Lance, have you seen the Good Enough? Goonies are good enough for me. Music video.
Good enough.
It stars quite a few different WWF, at the time is called WWF wrestlers. The guy that has the rubber bands hanging all over him, a couple other people, and the cast of the Goonies and Cyndi Lauper. It's campy, but most music videos at that time. It was the 80s, so it didn't matter. Also, I looked this up today. Baby Ruth, Nestle paid like quite a bit of money to have the Baby Ruth prominently featured in that movie, and their sales went up, and Chunk does a Ruth, 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 baby, Ruth. And so that was a product placement. Product placement for Taco Bell.
Oh, Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell. Injarito, macho burrito.
Master Tang, what are you doing here?
I've come to kick ass.
Oh.
That we can't get into that movie yet.
No. We gotta wait. People, if you know that movie, you'll know what we're talking about.
Enchilito, nacho burrito.
Okay. But going back to the Goonies, some of my favorite lines I can't say on here because Chunk says them and they swear. One of my
you don't swear?
I'm not going to do it on the podcast. One of my favorites right at the beginning when they're doing the chase, you see Chunk and he goes up, "Oh, police chase," and he puts his pizza and his milkshake and it splotches all over him, and he's like, "Ah." You're like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, Chunk has got some of the best lines. He's got probably some of the best quotes too. When they're telling him, like, putting him under the wire, they're gonna stick his hand in the blender.
Yeah, and
they're like, tell us the truth. You want the, like the whole truth is, all right, I'll talk. And then he just gets into it, and that is. The first time you watch that, you like tear up laughing because it's so funny.
Yeah,
it's when he's getting everybody puking in the theater. That
went ridiculous. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a classic. I guess I saw this thing. Josh Brolin was being asked about when they first saw the ship. They actually built a life-size replica of a ship, and they didn't want him to see it, so they got him into the water, and then they had him turn around, and they did, and he said they were supposed to be surprised and like, oh my gosh, and he turns around and says, "Holy," and they're like, all right, cut. No, that's not the reaction we wanted. But like,
more kid friendly.
Although there's lots of swearing in that movie, and that word is prevalent through the whole movie. But maybe Chunk was the one that was supposed to say that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that ship looks pretty good for being 350 years old. I'm surprised it's still floating, especially with all that water like constantly just dripping on it. And it's like, that's a pretty impressively built ship. It just, if they wanted it to, I don't know, that I'm not going to complain. It's a fantastic part of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's the whole thing. You're there, and they're finally at the end of their journey, and they're just enjoying it. So it's good.
One of the things that I find funny is Chester Copperpot. I don't know, his demise, if you watch the movie and you realize there's this guy going after it many years before, Chester Copperpot, and either he tripped the stone, there's another line, or it just fell on him. It was like an accidental death. And it's funny when Mikey holds up Lou Gehrig, and
yeah,
like, what? And they find the key, and that gets them into the other thing. The key is kind of a disappointment because it only opens one thing and it doesn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite parts of the movie is really the waterfall, and with all the coins. Like, oh man, if I would have known that was something that was like that was down there, I'd be hanging down in that place all the time. It was so pretty and beautiful, and it was just kind of a magical scene. It was kind of an interlude. It's kind of breaking up the monotony of going through all this garbage or what underground.
Yeah, but you know what? This one right here. This was my dream, my wish, and it didn't come true. So I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back.
Yeah.
it was actually a really well placed scene, and it gives them the opportunity to escape, and they choose not to, up Troy's bucket. And I like that scene, especially because Mouth has this scene, and Martha Plimpton and Corey Feldman, they actually have like this weird tension. They must be closer in age than some of the other kids. I'm guessing Steph is probably a year younger than Andy, and Corey Feldman's character might be the oldest one. And so they know each other. Martha, her character Steph, is probably a Goonie. She probably lives in the Goondocks, I'm going to assume, because you see her early in the film. And Andy's the only one that's kind of a preppy kid. Was there any other thoughts, Lance, for you on this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about Martha Plimpton, her character. I was gonna get into like a little dive about the characters, talk about how they're introduced. And yeah, you see the cheerleader. So she's preppy, she's with the football team back then in the 80s. That was high status in high school,
Yeah.
But then you see Martha Plimpton's character. She's all of a sudden she's out of this barrel of water, and what does she have in her hands? It's a crab. And I wouldn't have known this at the time, but now I do, living on the coast. That's a stone crab, and you don't eat the crab, you just eat the big claws, and you just pull off
right,
the claws. But yeah, I mean, just the way that they introduce everybody right in the beginning of this movie is a fun way to interact with how their characters are going to be throughout. One thing I did notice was when they first show Mikey, he's laying on his bed, he's just bored, and on his post you see a skull.
Yeah,
and it's a pirate. It's kind of like that pirate skull. What you see right when the beginning of the movie happens, when they get the car, opening credits, and yeah, it just kind of shows like he's the pirate king. And it's only got one eye, so you kind of getting all these subliminal things throughout the film about what's going to happen. So it's there's some fun stuff that was in there.
Well, did you know? I don't know if you noticed this. It's kind of weird because there's these old guys in the shower, but one of them has a patch on his eye, as well. And I don't know. Yeah. And I think it kind of shows up. There's lots of pirate things within there that show up. But yeah, I want to say, I think the true villain, I like this part. The true villain is actually Troy's dad, whatever his name is. He's the true villain. He's the antagonist at the end, at the beginning and the end, actually. And he sounds like he's just a jerk. He's kind of the aristocratic type.
Is your mommy home?
Is your mommy? He's just a jerk, and his son's a turd and hides behind his dad, and especially when he acts tough, but then he got during the time where he's in the bathroom and he gets shot up, and daddy's gonna fix it, and then he hides behind his dad later on. One thing I noticed that's a little campy, or silly, when Mikey and Brand's dad rips up the thing and he throws it up in the air, all of a sudden there's another thing of paper that flies up, and you're like, come on, man. Like, where did all that? Yeah. He literally did not rip it up that much, and all this paper just flies.
Yeah, it's funny. Their dad. This is kind of off topic. He's got the face of one of the people from The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, like kind of the way their noses are up, and he's got like that longer. I mean, you and I, we have like the skinny thing.
Yeah.
Like the space between your lips and your nose. I was like, oh, is that the guy that was in the Grinch movie with Jim Carrey? But like, no, that was too much of an age gap there.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny. I was like, oh, he looks like one of the, I don't know what they call those people. They're driving me crazy.
Oh, the Who's.
Doesn't. Yeah, the Who's. The Whoville.
Whoville.
But yeah, you see all that extra paper fly up. We're not going to do this ever.
Oh, no.
Man.
That's good stuff. You got to watch this movie several times though, because you'll miss it because you'll laugh at one thing and you'll miss another thing, and sometimes the jokes build and build and build. I watched it with Tiberius, and then he like left at the end, and I was like, dude, the end is, you got to watch the end of this movie. But anyway, he likes that movie too, so that's fun for me to have passed that on to the kids and them not hate it, because there's other movies I try to show to them and they hate it.
Yeah, I always know when I really like a movie when it leaves me with a kind of a pit in the bottom of my stomach, and I know that sounds weird,
Yeah.
but when the adventure and what the journey, what they're doing is so good that when it's finally the end, you're like, no,
Yeah.
because you could sit there for another hour watching them do what they're doing. It's kind of like Lord of the Rings. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, is this movie over yet? But when it's finally over, you're like, ugh, I kind of want to see it again.
Yeah.
You know, like it's that type of a journey. You're going on like this emotional roller coaster,
Yeah.
and it's not just like so fast and smacking you where it's not enjoyable. Like you said, like when they're at the bottom of the well, that is a soft, tender moment, and it like you said, it's a transitional thing where it kind of lets you sit back and breathe and enjoy this adventure they're on, and where they reanalyze and they're like, okay, are we really going to do this? And Mikey is like, hey, this is it. This is now or never, and we can do this, or we can go home, and it's just going to be like, oh well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Instead, they get to enjoy the whole process of what they do.
It definitely makes you want more. And sometimes, though, I think it's good because they're talking about doing a sequel now, finally. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I really want a sequel. If it ruins the original, I don't want it. And that sounds maybe selfish, but I really don't want it. I thought they could do a prequel where they explore the adventure of One-Eyed Willie and maybe tell the story. And it doesn't have to be the same thing that Mikey says because it's all hearsay and all these things. But I think that would be kind of cool when you see them building all the traps. And, I'm like, I'd be down for that movie because it's not going to, it just tells the story of what happened. And, then the Goonies find him eventually. But it wouldn't ruin the original adventure, I don't think. At least I don't think. I don't know.
When Disney buys the rights to the Goonies and they're trying to figure out how do we end Pirates of the Caribbean, they're finally going to have Jack Sparrow put an eye patch on and be like, I'm Willie now. I'm Captain Jack Willie. Loopy here now.
Yeah. It's getting crazy. All right. I just want to make sure that Lance and we want to talk about some actors. I really enjoyed Martha Plimpton, and I think that she is underrated. I think that she's great in this movie. She has a good moment with Mouth. And so I would make sure that if you don't know any Martha Plimpton stuff, she's great in Raising Hope. So funny. And go watch her. Lance, what was a character that really, or an actor that stood out to you?
I'd say it would be Jeff Cohen. He's the one who played Chunk.
Yeah.
He's not chunky anymore.
No.
Like brightens up the movie.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna laugh, it's gonna be at all the things that he's doing, not necessarily like Mouth or any of the other characters. Like Chunk, just the way he did his acting in this one, and he didn't really do a lot of work after this, but he for sure was, I think, to me, like you can cry laughing at the things.
Well, hey, with that, we just want to make sure that we encourage you to go watch this movie, watch it with your family, watch it with your friends. I think our hometown of Newton, Iowa is doing like a screening. I don't know if it's free or not, but
That's
go watch
awesome.
it on the big screen. And I know that Goonies does come to big screens a lot because it's a fan favorite. I did see The Phantom Menace recently because I like watching old movies in the theater. That movie hasn't held up nearly as well as you'd hope. But we'll talk about that movie eventually.
Oh, you should be crazy, man.
One of the worst characters of all time. But
I love Obi-Wan Kenobi's wig at one point. You're like, ugh, what is up with that mat on his head? He got a dead rat up there.
Nice rat tail.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope everybody has a good night, and we'll see you later.
Hey, you guys.
Sloth love junk. All right. See you later.
See ya.